shift our focus to a big story that has been developing over the few weeks now, and today we're all waiting for the ultimate decision that is to come in from the Supreme Court. As the debate over the Gyanvapi complex continues, a team of the Archaeological Survey of India has begun the survey to determine if it is constructed over a pre-existing structure of a temple, which is what the Hindu side claims. Now, the ASI team is divided into 4 teams that will check different parts of Gyanvapi, and the survey is using non-destructive techniques. Security has also been beefed up near the Gyanvapi complex. Remember, the Muslim side is worried about damage being caused to the structure by the ASI team, which is assured the Allahabad High Court that no damage will be caused to the structure while carrying out the survey. Now, the Supreme Court is slated to hear a fresh plea challenging the orders of the Allahabad High Court allowing for the survey. And the matter will be heard by a bench headed by the Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud. And the bench also will be comprising of Justices J.B. Pardiwala and Manoj Mishra.
30 मेंबर एएसआई की टीम है ये और जो सर्वे की टीम है वो फिलहाल इस वक्त ज्ञानवापी के अंदर पहुंच चुकी है। इसके बाद क्या होगा, सबसे पहले जो सर्वे की टीम है वो डस्टिंग का काम करेंगी। क्यों डस्टिंग का काम करेंगी? क्योंकि खुद जो एएसआई के अधिकारी इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट में थे, उन्होंने कोर्ट को ये जानकारी दी थी कि सबसे पहले वो डस्टिंग का काम करते हैं। डस्टिंग के बाद फोटो डॉक्यूमेंटेशन और फिर जीपीआर के जरिए ये पता लगाया जाएगा कि कितने साल पुरानी है ये ज्ञानवापी परिसर। क्योंकि जिस तरीके से हिंदू पक्षकार लगातार कहते आए हैं कि औरंगजेब के समय में मंदिर के ऊपर मस्जिद बनाया गया, तो ये कितने साल पुरानी है ये उसकी इमारतें, दीवारें, इस बारे में पता लगाना। सबसे पहले तो तस्वीरें देखिए यहाँ पर किस तरीके से ये आउटर लेयर है, ज्ञानवापी की जाने वाले रास्ते का ये आउटर लेयर है और उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस के जवान यहाँ पर तैनात है। इसके बाद पैरामिलिट्री फोर्सेस के जवान होंगे और वहां पर फिर पीएससी के जवान भी होंगे और उसके आखिरी में कमांडो फोर्सेस को तैनात किया गया, क्योंकि मैटर बहुत सेंसिटिव है।
Right, so that was a ground report from the particular Gyanvapi complex. The survey is underway and we have Ananya Bhatnagar live with us. Ananya, well, bring us the latest regarding this survey which is undergoing right now in the Gyanvapi complex.
Well, as Amit was also pointing it out, Shreya, you know, there is a heavy security deployment outside the outer layer of the Gyanvapi, and now, you know, the survey is already being, conducted since 7:30 in the morning today. And in fact, it's a 30-member team of the Archaeological Survey of India that is conducting this survey into 4 parts. So the teams are divided into 4 parts. Number 1, that would be looking into the central dome of that particular complex. The other would be looking at the northern and the southern pillars. The third team would be taking up the western walls, and the last one would be going with regards to, you know, the Vyas Tehkhana that is there existing at the temple site. So all these 4 teams will be carrying out radio imagery. They will be using GPS, GNSS systems to actually, you know, geotag this particular location. Drones might also be used in non-destructive techniques of archaeology. Drones play a very, very important role. They not only give you an aerial view of all of the whole Gyanvapi site of the particular site that is being surveyed, but also can be instrumental in, you know, checking up the heights and giving you a 3D view of a particular structure that could actually give a very, very depth to the archaeologists to actually look into the archaeological age, the type of that particular structure, how that particular structure would have been, its composition, its carbon composition. All of that could be ascertained with drones being attached with, you know, thermal cameras or with radio cameras to actually give out particular details with regards to the dating and with regards to the material composition of a particular artifact. Now, when we come to the legal part of it, the Supreme Court of India will be hearing 2 petitions today. One with regards to the maintainability of the Order 7 Rule 11 application under the Code of Civil Procedure, whether the suit filed by the Hindu side for a prayer and worship is maintainable or not. That would be heard. Second is with regards to the fresh special leave petition that has been filed before the topmost court of the country by the Muslim side, which is with regards to the challenge to the Allahabad High Court order, and very, very categorically that would be the key focus, whether or not the survey in this particular case would be stayed, whether the Supreme Court will say that, already the major demand that, destruction of that particular complex should not happen is something that should also, that has also been met by the ASI affidavit, the undertaking of the Archaeological Archaeological Survey of India, and also in fact the undertaking that has been given to the Allahabad High Court, that has been taken care of. So whether or not the Supreme Court would be taking a favorable view with regards to a survey being conducted or not, that is a question that will be answered in just a few hours from now, when the hearing in this particular matter would resume. But more importantly, and coming back to your question with regards to how this survey will be taking place, these 4 teams are divided. They would be using GPS, as I told you. They would be using GPRs also. GPRs are basically ground penetrating radars. This is a machine consisting of 2 major parts. One is a transmitter, the other is a receiver. The transmitter sends in electromagnetic waves beneath the ground that would map that particular artifact, if at all there is any under beneath the ground, and then the waves sent back to the receiver would actually map that particular area. It can actually be so accurate that it can map you as to what is underneath that ground, what exact structure is existing underneath that ground. And then the archaeologist, though there is no excavation allowed in this particular survey, but could have carried an evacuation and extraction of that particular artifact from beneath the ground, but that might not be possible because no kind of a destruction to the property is allowed in this particular survey. But what they can do is that they can prepare a list of these documents. They can say that such kind of artifact is lying beneath the ground. They can come to the court, they can seek a permission that since we found all of this, please grant us permission to actually excavate that particular process. So that is something that could have happened, that could happen over a future stage, if at all the artifacts are not be able to manually being extracted. But at the same point of time, this survey becomes very, very crucial. 4 teams, the 30-member team divided into 4 parts, going for the central dome, the western wall, where it has been claimed that there is engravings of Hindu mantras. There are idols that would be taking place. Another is the central dome, for which the Hindu side claims that there is a hollow sound that comes, and there might be a shivling that could actually come in from there. So all this would be the point of bone of contention when it comes to the survey being taking place at this point of time. So we'll have to wait and watch for that and how things pan out. But definitely heavy security deployment. And if you remember, the Kashi Vishwanath Mandir administration has also issued a statement that no kind of mobile phones are allowed in the premises from 4th to 7th, so that the survey can go on there and there is no kind of a security issue. Shreya.
Right, Ananya. Thank you for bringing us all those details, and continue staying with us. We will come back to you for more details on the particular Gyanvapi case that is going on. But right now, we have some more details that will help us get into the depths of what has been going on. And this is the survey's non-destructive techniques. The ground penetrating radar, firstly, which is a geophysical locating method, and it uses radio waves to capture images, and minimal invasive technique. It's a minimally invasive technique that uses radio waves to capture images. That is the ground penetrating method. Now, the next one is the GPS for georeferencing. Now, this particular method is based on radio frequency satellites, and that is centimeter precision topography is also taken into consideration when we talk about the GPS for georeferencing. And the next one, the next methodology that is going to be used in this survey is the drones for mapping the imagery and the documentation. This is designed to perform field tasks. Now, the coordination, exploration, inspection shall be done via this, and this will be used to perform field tasks. So these are the methods that will be particularly used for the survey, and it is
लॉबी हावी है। मुझे समन देकर इसी बात के लिए बुलाया गया है, तो ये मेरा विश्वास है। अगर सुप्रीम कोर्ट मुझे मेरे विश्वास के लिए सजा देना चाहता है तो मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट में हाजिर हूं, वो मुझे सजा दे सकते हैं, लेकिन ये मेरा विश्वास है और मैं अपने विश्वास पर अडिग हूं।
So these are the reactions that we are getting for the Gyanvapi case. And remember, the Supreme Court is to give its final verdict. The topmost court is to give its final verdict regarding the particular survey that has already begun today. Remember, earlier as well, the survey had begun a few weeks ago, but it was again halted when this was being heard by the Allahabad High Court. And right now we have Ananya back with us on the broadcast. Ananya, circling back to a point that you made regarding the fresh plea that has been filed in the Supreme Court regarding the Allahabad High Court verdict yesterday. When we talk about that, the Muslim side, what is the basis that the Muslim side is this time filing this plea on? Because they've already spoken of the evidence, they've already spoken about the techniques to be used in this particular survey, and the courts have assured them that there will be nothing that is going to be used that might cause destruction to the structure. So how strong is their case in that particular situation then?
Well, the grounds before the Supreme Court are a little different, you know. Number one is that what has been stated by the Muslim side, the Anjuman Intizamiya Masjid Committee before the Supreme Court in its petition is, and you could have accessed it for our viewers exclusively, is what, you know, that they've said that the Places of Worship Act bars any kind of exercise that could be conducted at this particular point of time at this site. One other bone of contention that comes up from the Muslim petition is that, you know, the orders have been passed completely without looking into the 2021 orders of the Varanasi, you know, the Allahabad High Court, which had, you know, disallowed a survey to take place at the Gyanvapi site, clearly noting that, you know, this is a survey that could change the religious characteristic of a particular place of worship. Not only that, what has also been stated is that, you know, this can cause communal tensions in the country, is what the Muslim side says. It also states that, you know, the Archaeological Survey of India has very categorically and in a huge hurry had come to the office, had come to the Gyanvapi site as soon as the orders were passed, and in fact had been there until the Supreme Court actually stayed that particular order. And even though the Supreme Court was hearing that particular matter that day, the Archaeological Survey of India officials did not leave the particular premises until, you know, a stay order was passed by the topmost court of the country. So all these are the grounds that have been raised by, in fact, the Muslim side. How much of it does play out before the bench headed by the Chief Justice of India, also comprising Justices J.B. Pardewala and in fact Justice Manoj Mishra, would come up at item 37. The fresh plea is at item 37. The maintainability is at item 18. We might see that the hearing begins in a short while from now, in just a few minutes or almost half an hour or 1 hour. But what is very crucial to see is of what is happening at the ground. The Archaeological Survey of India teams that are there, the 30-member team divided into 4 parts, one before the central dome, one at, in fact, you know, the pillars that exist on the northern and the southern side, others at the western wall, and also the Vyas Khana. So
right,
all
Ananya.
these teams carrying out radio imagery, carrying out GPS and GPR exercises. So we'll have to see how things pan out.
Right.
But the Supreme Court too is going to hear this particular matter.
Thank you, Ananya, for all those details. Continue being with us. But right now we are going to move to Jaspreet Kaur, who has been reporting live since today morning when the survey started right in Varanasi. And well, Jaspreet, what is the situation like there right now? Please bring us the latest updates from the ground.
Yeah, the situation is under control, and I will show you the visuals. The Gyanvapi, in the Gyanvapi complex, the team is doing the survey since morning, and the team is divided into many parts. We can see the security is very tight here and in the premises, and this survey will determine whether the 17th century mosque was constructed over a pre-existing Hindu temple structure. So the survey is very important. Yesterday we have seen the High Court verdict where they have given the green signal to the survey, and we are in the ground zero. Basically the district administration is very active, whatever the support the survey team is getting from the district administration, and we can see there is a multiple layer security because the pilgrims from all over the country come to this holy temple, and this temple is, and the Gyanvapi complex which is adjacent to the temple, it's just 100 meters away from this. And the latest update I will tell you that earlier the information was that the survey will be done till afternoon, but now we are getting the information that the survey will be done till evening. Till 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. and the ASI team, Archaeological Survey of India team, will take a break during the namaz period because today is Friday and heavy deployment is there. The security is very tight. As we can see, the media personnel are also not allowed in the Gyanvapi complex, and they are using the modern techniques so that they can determine whether in the 17th century the temple was demolished and the mosque was built over the temple. This survey will determine whether this was done or not. And as we can say, today is a big day, very important day, because the Muslim side has approached the Supreme Court of India that the survey should be stopped. We have to see that when the Supreme Court of India will hear this petition from the Muslim side, but the Hindu side, they are saying that their side should also be listened. And today we can see you can see the barricading here, the police personals. We have seen the black commandos, which are always here for the security purpose, but now UPATS is there, even the RAF personals are also here, and the high-level officers which are on the ground, they are doing meetings so that the situation didn't get worsen, and the situation right now is under control. And when the ASI team, Archaeological Survey of India team, will take a break, they will come outside from the Gyanvapi complex. Then we can give you the detailed information that how the survey is conducted. But yes, the carbon dating will be done. Carbon dating is done to determine the age of the things which are found in the Gyanvapi complex, and the Hindu side, which is claiming that there is a shivling and the shivling is in the Vajukhana, but the survey is not happening in the Vajukhana, but except Vajukhana, the whole Gyanvapi complex, the team has entered the Gyanvapi complex since morning, since 7 a.m. in the morning, and the survey will be conducted till evening. Today is a very important day because of the High Court verdict, and the Muslim side has moved to the Supreme Court. We have to see what the Supreme Court verdict will be there. Today we have to wait for some time.
Right, Jaspreet. Also, since you mentioned that right now you've received information about the fact that the survey is to continue till the evening. Now, previously when the survey had begun, there was a timeline that was given, and that by which the survey had to be wrapped up. But today morning, when we spoke to one of the advocates, Sudhir Tripathi from the Hindu side, he mentioned the Ayodhya temple case, where he said that the survey had gone on till 8 months. So do we see such a detailed survey taking place in this particular situation as well, which is why maybe today, or the fact that the survey has been pushed till evening, they want to wrap it up as soon as they can to bring the facts to the fore?
Yeah, because it takes time. If you're mentioning about the Ayodhya's survey, the situation is entirely different here. But today we have to see, because this is not the timeline was not given by the High Court also, Allahabad High Court. So they haven't given the timeline that how long will the survey will be conducted. But the Hindu side and the Archaeological Survey of India, they have given the affidavit to the court mentioning that the structure will not be destroyed. But this will take time. How many days? For how many days the survey will take place, it's right now this cannot be answered. But once the survey team will be outside, they will take a break, then we can have the questions with the survey team that what they have found. But earlier when we have seen, when the survey team was in the Gyanvapi complex, the survey was done till 5 hours, more than 5 hours. But today, as I have told you, today is Friday and today is the Jummeh's Namaz. So various people from the community takes the namaz there. So this is a very sensitive issue, as I'm mentioning, and the security is very tight. Heavy deployment is there. Various personals are deployed. Even the district magistrate, the DM of the city, he is doing meetings. And now the survey will be conducted till evening, but they will take a break for, I guess, from 12 to 2 p.m. for a 2 hours period when the namaz will happen, and then they will do the work. But they will move to the court, mentioning, because earlier when we have seen the 21st July district court judgment, they have told the Hindu side, the Archaeological Survey of India team, to wrap up, to give the report before court on 4th of August. But the Muslim side has approached the High Court. So today the survey is done, then they will give an affidavit in the court mentioning that the survey will take long. The court should give some time to the Archaeological Survey of India team so that they can bring the truth, and this survey will determine whether the Hindu temple was destroyed and the mosque was built in the 17th century, and the Hindu side is claiming that in the 17th century the Mughal leader Aurangzeb has demolished the temple and the shivling was also found. But in the Vajukhana the survey is not happening. I will show you the ground reports. You can see this is a one way, because earlier who have been to Varanasi, who have been to Kashi Vishwanath temple, the two-wheelers are allowed. But this time, because of this sensitive issue, two-wheelers are not allowed and people are only only coming. This is one way, and even the media is also not allowed. You have to walk. This is a Gadolia Chowk and the Gyanvapi complex, which is adjacent to the Hindu temple, Kashi Vishwanath temple, and the Hindu side is claiming, and they have also mentioned it in the court, that the Gyanvapi complex is part of the Hindu, is a part of the Kashi Vishwanath temple, and then in the 17th century it was demolished. So today is a very important day, and we have to see the eyes are also in the Supreme Court of India on Delhi, when they will listen to the plea of the Muslim side and what they will say. But right now the survey is happening. More than 30 members are inside the Gyanvapi complex, and they are using the scientific techniques to determine that whether it was whether the temple was demolished and mosque was built in the 17th century.
Right, Jaspreet. Thank you for bringing us all those details from the ground. 12 to 2 p.m. is the time frame that has been said that we can expect the ASI survey people, the team, to take a break, and that's when we will get more details from the ground as to regarding what the survey is doing right now. But right now we have Ananya joining back on the broadcast. Ananya, coming to you. Well, like we were discussing about the petition, the plea that has been filed to the Supreme Court today, the court's direction in this particular case regarding how the survey should take place has been very clear, that no particular harm or damage should be done to the Gyanvapi complex. But despite that, the Muslim side has constantly been bringing up this again and again, that there might be damage occurring to the complex. So where is there a failure? Why are they so scared of this particular survey taking place, especially when there are only non-invasive techniques that are being used for this particular survey?
Well, Shreya, we have to understand one thing, that things that are said at the legal platform are something to defend a case particularly, and this particular claim that there would be destruction, there would be invasion that could happen at that particular site. And if you remember, at the Allahabad High Court, when the hearing was taking place, the Chief Justice asked, in fact, the Muslim side, that do you fear that something like Babri could actually come out and such an incident can actually repeat itself? So the Muslim side had very categorically affirmed to it, said that yes, we fear this. But at the end of it, the Archaeological Survey of India came in. It said that no kind of an invasion technique is being used. No kind of a brick, not even a single stone, a small stone would be moved from its place. And this was very, very clear undertaking that was from the Archaeological Survey of India. Now, whether that argument also finds space today when the Supreme Court will be hearing this is something that we will have to wait and watch for. Though the case, as we go on through the petition, is basically based on the Places of Worship Act today, and also with regards to how a survey cannot take place at this particular time. Because remember that Mr. Ahmadi, who had been arguing for the Muslim side before the Supreme Court, had also, when the matter was previous time before the Supreme Court, it said that Section 75 of the Code of Civil Procedure does not allow to do for. So Section 75 basically says that if at all the court is unhappy with the oral evidence, it cannot reach a conclusion, then a scientific investigation can be ordered. However, the Allahabad High Court has also dealt with this argument, clearly dubbing down this submission, saying that issue of commission can arrive at any point of time. The survey can be ordered at any point of time, and that's not a contention that can be raised. So how things pan out today is something that is very, very crucial. What would be the arguments of the Muslim side? How will the Hindu side defend it? All these questions would be answered in a few minutes from now. The bench would be sitting at around 10:30 a.m. and the matter is listed at item 18 and item 37. So whether or not there would be a stay on this survey, all this would be answered in some time from now. But at this point of time, the survey is still continuing, and as Jaspreet was also pointing it out, there would be a break between 12 to 2 p.m. By the Archaeological Survey of India officials, because remember that after conducting this DDS said they would also need some break. They would also need to analyze the first leg of their survey that they have carried out, what they have done. That would might also come out. They might come out and brief the media as well as to what they have been doing. But remember that all these whatever would be collected today, whatever would be the end of this survey, would be submitted before the Varanasi District Court. And for that, what we have been told from our sources is that the Hindu side and certain officials, the Archaeological Survey of India, might also also moved the Varanasi District Court seeking for an extension of the timeline to conduct a survey on the sole ground that, the order of the Varanasi District Court had remained in abeyance, and that timeline needs to be extended. So whether or not that happens, whether there would be extension granted by the Varanasi Court, which probably would be, but the most important question, whether the Supreme Court will be siding the Muslim, the Anjuman Intizamiya and would be passing an order in favor of them, or would it order in the favor of the Hindu side after this apprehension of a damage to that particular structure has been gone away. So we'll have to wait and watch for all of that, but the survey still continues. The 30-member team, divided into 4 parts at the 4 sites of the Gyanvapi, are there, except for the Wazu Khana. The Wazu Khana cannot be touched because there are sealing orders passed by the Supreme Court of India, but the Vyas Khana, or what we call the central dome, the western walls of the Gyanvapi, where Ma Shringar Gauri temple exists, and very, very crucially, the 2 pillars on which this whole mosque stands, the northern and the southern pillar, would also be examined by the Archaeological Survey of India, GNSS, GPS techniques, and also absolute and relative dating techniques to be used. But all that would come to boil down point that whether or not the survey would actually continue or not after the Supreme Court's order. Shreya.
Right, Ananya. Thank you for bringing us all those details, and we will keep coming back to you for more latest updates about what exactly is going on regarding this case, especially now that we're inching towards the Supreme Court verdict on this particular case. But right now, we're going to head into some reactions that we have with this case. Let's have a look at them.
सर्वे होना है और सर्वे के लिए पूरी तैयारी जो है एसआई की टीम कर चुकी है, जिला प्रशासन कर चुका है और हम लोग भी निकल रहे हैं। हम लोग भी जो है पूरी तैयारी के साथ जो है उस ज्ञानवापी परिसर में पहुंच रहे हैं जहां सर्वे होना है।
जब ये एसआई टीम अपना कार्य जब यहाँ कंप्लीट करेगी और वो सारे एविडेंस, सारे साक्ष्य जब न्यायालय के पटल पे जब वो रखे जाएंगे, तो उसके बाद जो परिणाम स्वरूप जो आदेश जो आएगा, जो जजमेंट आएगा, जो ऑर्डर आएगा, वो हम लोगों के पक्ष में आएगा, ऐसी हमें पूरी उम्मीद है। और आज जो है एएसआई का जो कार्य शुरू हो रहा है, अब वो एएसआई कितने दिन में करेगी, कैसे करेगी, ये एएसआई की टीम तय करेगी।
वहाँ हमारा एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एविडेंस अवेलेबल है और उस एविडेंस को सामने आना, समाज के सामने भी लाना, एज वेल एज ऑनरेबल कोर्ट के सामने भी ले आना, जिससे जो हमारा जो जस्टिस पाने की जो प्रक्रिया है वो पूरी तरीके से निर्विवादित तौर पर कंप्लीट हो सके, उस चीज़ के लिए हम इंटरेस्टेड हैं।
माननीय उच्च न्यायालय के इस फैसले का स्वागत करते हैं। देश और दुनिया के सामने ज्ञानवापी की असलियत ज़रूर आनी चाहिए, क्योंकि अभी तक तो कुछ लोगों को ही मालूम है। जो कुछ वहाँ पर अभी तक दिखाया जाता है उसमें सब कुछ स्पष्ट है कि वहाँ पर पहले क्या था। माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी का एक विस्तृत बयान इस विषय पर आ चुका है और हम समझते हैं कि उसका सर्वे ज़रूर होना चाहिए। और एएसआई ने इस बात के लिए एश्योर भी किया है कि सर्वे में किसी प्रकार की खरोच नहीं आएगी, न उसका कोई स्वरूप बदला जाएगा।
चलने का टाइम निर्धारित नहीं है, कब तक समापन होगा, क्योंकि लंबी चलेगी, साधारण सर्वे नहीं है। आप भी जान जाओ, यह सर्वे, यही सर्वे जो अयोध्या में हुआ था 7-8 महीने चले थे। तो आप घबराओ मत, 1-2 दिन में नहीं होने वाला, बढ़िया से होगा, पूरी जांच होकर स्पष्ट हो जाएगी। ऐसा है, कोर्ट का आदेश है और कोर्ट के आदेश में एक पक्षी कार्रवाई भी होती है। यहाँ कोई पंचायत नहीं को नहीं आएंगे तो काम नहीं होगा। कोर्ट ने कहा है सर्वे, और सर्वे अपना अलग टीम है, वो निष्पक्ष टीम है। और दौरान जो सर्वे हो रही है, वीडियोग्राफी, फोटोग्राफी हो रही है, तो अपने एक बिंदुओं पर फोटोग्राफी, वीडियोग्राफी करके अपनी रिपोर्ट देगी। वो सामान्य चीज नहीं, एक टीम दे रही है, एक संस्था है सर्वे।
अरे भाई देखिए, वो इनका व्यक्तिगत मामला, मुस्लिम पक्ष रहे या न रहे, ये हम अपने पक्ष को जानते हैं। हमारा पक्ष जो है दृढ़ता के साथ वहाँ खड़ा है, पूरी लड़ाई मजबूती से लड़ रहा है। हम लोग न लटकाने वाले हैं, न भटकाने वाले हैं, और न ही हम लोग भागने वाले हैं। हम लड़ाई को मुहिम तक, इस बाबा आराध्य जो हमारे आदि विशेषज्ञ हैं, इनको मुकाम तक पहुँचा के ही छोड़ेंगे। ये जो दावा मुकदमा हम लोगों ने शुरू किया है, इसको अपनी मंजिल तक पहुँचाएंगे। इसलिए मुस्लिम अगर भाग रहा है, ये उनकी समस्या है।
Well, we will continue keeping a close watch on all that we receive from this particular case that is going on, the Gyanvapi case. But for now, we'll slip into a short break. But stay tuned to CNN News 18 as we bring you all the latest developments from across the world right here.